character in a horror movie. On a planet called Earth, you are in a coma, dreaming, and you don't even know that you are dreaming. A subject. Anything can practically eliminate your life on Earth, and I mean anything. But you have accepted this hell as a normal reality, and anything that anybody says about this world being hell, you now think that being is the delusional one. Because in your mind, there is another hell beneath Earth, and there is a heaven above you, or you just think nothing at all. Regardless, there is only one way out. Defeat the entity who brought you to the universe, to Earth, or remain hell-bound to Earth. The choice is yours.
Sorry for that horrific long ass intro, but the truth is the truth, and the truth shall be spoken no matter what.
Hip hop, we back again. We're gonna talk about hip hop. We're gonna enter the universe of hip hop once again. And today's topic is gonna be none other than your great Mr. J. Cole. It's Cole's world, all right? We're gonna talk about J. Cole. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and dissect all J. Cole's lyrics that his lyrics from the verses of songs that he recently released or previously in the past, because I'm pretty sure we are all well acquainted with J. Cole's lyrical ability. A great rapper, a great poet, a great storyteller, no doubt. But I have an issue. My issue is simple. My issue in this world is simple. I don't like evil. I don't like demons. And I don't know if you know this, but demons are very, very good at shape shifting. They're very, very good at dressing. They're very, very good with their words. They're very, very good with their changing their abilities, morphing and transforming into whatever it is to fit into a situation and get what they want clean and leave you in the dust, leave you hanging all over the place. J. Cole's character. I am not assassinating J. Cole's character personally. I'm not attacking J. Cole's character personally. I don't know the man in a personal level. But like I said previously on my previous video, I am a father of a girl and a boy. Not only that, I take art personally, especially when it comes to music. Music is very, very personal to me, and I feel like music is very, very personal to everybody else that listens to music, because music, its frequencies affect the way we feel, the way we think, psychologically, emotionally. All right, it can lead us to very good places, and it can lead us to very dark places, because words are energy. Words are very, very powerful energy. We might not be aware of it. Sorry, not we. A lot of people may not be aware of this, but words are very, very powerful, magical words. They can change your life depending on what words you listen to. Same thing as images. Depends what images you store in your mind. Very, very powerful transformation can take shape in your mind if you're not careful with what you fill up your mind with. This comes with a ton of a comprehension, ways to see things in life. in a way that other people cannot see it. This takes a strong will to do so. A strong will to do so. Now, back to J. Cole. Like I said, I don't know J. Cole personally, but music is personal to me. Music, if you are a musician, music represents you, the artist. Because at the end of the day, you're supposed to be talking about your experiences, your evolution. If you started very early, it should show growth as an artist. It should show your intelligence growth throughout your music. You should evolve in your music. All right. So J. Cole, J. Cole's character as the artist reminds me of a certain few types of people. J. Cole's character reminds me of the type of people who can train very, very well before a big game or before a game in general. You know, whether you play soccer, whether you play gridiron, whether you play football, whether you play tennis, whether you perform on stage as a dancer. All right, there are people who can train very, very well and and excel at it. All right, they get all the techniques right, all the movements right, all the skills right, all the coordination right. But the moment the time comes for a big game, they fold. All right, they get nervous. They start overthinking all their strategies and they start fumbling the game. And everything just looked a whole bunch of disgusting mess that no fan wants to watch at all because their favorite team is losing because one of their best players couldn't get it together. All right, that's character number one of J. Cole. Another character of J. Cole is a man or a woman that loves to talk tough. All right, they just talk tough. They know how to talk tough. They can talk their way out of any situation given. They can talk their way out of it. And I'm pretty sure you've seen all the J. Cole interviews. You've seen you've seen all the J. Cole interviews. You've seen you've heard his lyrical performances or his lyrical deliveries of how he talks all this tough talk on how he will put your favorite rapper on a noose, right? He will destroy any rapper that ever dares to step, face to face and battle him. He will absolutely dismantle that rapper. J. Cole has been saying this for years, all right? And every single rapper says it, and there is nothing wrong with that at all. You can talk tough, right? J. Cole's character talks tough, but like I said, J. Cole's character reminds me of a tough talker that cannot deliver when the time comes to deliver. All right, so the backhand talk, all they need, and everybody believes them. Everybody believes the hype train that the tough talker delivers, that the tough talker spits out. Oh, he's believable because his words are just so good, so convincing that people are ready to pay money to see him throw down with anybody in the world. And then when the time comes, they fold. They find an excuse and say a bunch of things like, that's not really who I am. I don't want to lose a friend, or I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And because they're so good at getting at people's good side empathetically, they always get away with it. Another character of J. Cole's, that's character number 2. Another character of J. Cole's is this character right here. He so at the day of the battle, all right, the battle comes. He throws down his sword because he got overwhelmed by the enemy. He realized that all that back talking, all that smack talking did not work against the enemy. It didn't scare the enemy away. The enemy still moved forward with his sword, with his shield and armor, ready to fight. J. Cole came into the battle and he heard and saw how well prepared his enemy is, and well, he threw his, so he delivered, by the way, sorry, he attacked. Yeah, he attacked because he wanted to send a message to the enemy. And the enemy obviously here is Kendrick, right? Kendrick came out with 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 the line called F the big three, it's just big me. A very, very powerful message. Very simple, yet very effective. A sword right to the heart, right? So J. Cole heard that line and J. Cole was like, oh, hell no. Hell to the no. This nigga just thinks he's gonna say them words and think that I'm gonna keep quiet. Oh, hell no. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a 7-minute drill. I'm gonna make a 7-minute song and put that song out there. So J. Cole attacked. Alright? J. Cole attacked, came into the battlefield, not well prepared. He attacked. In his mind, he was prepared. Yeah? In his mind, J. Cole thought he was prepared. So he attacked. Alright? He took his shot and he waited to see if the shot will land. And unfortunately, the shot did not land. He missed. His fans were not impressed by this by the track 7-minute drill. I might delete later or whatever. They were not impressed with it at all. So he waited a couple of days, deleted it, and J. Cole apologized to Kendrick. To me, alright, to me, that interpretation right there, to me, that's the equivalent of a warrior throwing down their sword and shield in a battlefield and taking down and taking the knee, bending over his knee to signify defeat. Alright? Or a pirate waving the white flag and admitting defeat. That right there is what J. Cole's apology was. That right there was J. Cole's deleting his track his track that his diss track that he released against Kendrick. Him deleting it, that signifies defeat. That right there is defeat. That is the real truth to it. He admitted defeat. Now, those people that championed J. Cole and made excuses and said, I don't blame J. Cole for throwing down his shield and sword and walking away a bigger man. No. No, no, no. You're championing a loser once again. You're making excuses for losers once again. We do not celebrate a loser for trying. No, we don't. It's never been the way of the warrior. That's not how it works. When a warrior loses, he disappears quietly. He goes and trains even harder, if he has the will to. And then he will come back again to challenge the current champion. That's how it works. We don't champion the loser and tell him that he is the bigger man for quitting the battle, for walking away from the battle that he has been instigating for freaking years and years. Tough talking, puffing out his chest, banging his chest like King Kong himself. And everybody heard the knock of his chest around the world and believed him and said, damn, if anyone ever stepped against J. Cole, they're gonna get murdered. They all believed J. Cole. And what did J. Cole do when the moment of greatness came? When the moment to solidify his greatness, and make him the best of the absolute best. What happened when that moment came? He put his sword down. He put his shield down. He took off his helmet and he bent down on his knee pads and took a knee and admitted defeat and apologized. And those followers of J. Cole, his loyal followers, what did they do? They championed him. They worshipped him for being a loser. It is absolutely disgusting to witness what I keep saying we. I do not want to involve myself in it at all because I don't have that kind of mentality. I am an athlete myself. I am deeply into music myself. I cannot tolerate this kind of mentality. I can't. I have honor and integrity that will not let me tolerate this kind of mentality. And like I said previously, I have locked myself away from social media for years. Ever since my daughter got born, my firstborn, I came into this world. I locked myself out of social media because of the nonsensical BS of the bullshit that's been taking place on social media. I didn't want to be a part of it anymore. I had to separate myself from it. And every single time I came to YouTube to check what's been happening around the world, I keep hearing this nonsense. This constant defense of losers, of scammers, of snake oilsmen who are very good with their words, but very bad with their actions. The world has been championing losers for long enough. And J. Cole figured it out that, hey, no matter what I do or no matter what I say, I'll still get support because, well, I have built enough a loyal fan base. He is taking advantage of his loyal fan base. And it is embarrassing for a grown-ass man to act like that. That is a mind of a parasite. That is a mind of a demon. I am sorry, but the truth shall be spoken. The truth cannot befriend a liar. A liar cannot befriend a truth teller. They can't coexist. It does not work. I know you've been conditioned to believe that yin and yang can coexist, but that is a fat, big lie. We will cover that too in due time. Yin and yang cannot coexist together. Good and evil cannot coexist together. It is a blatant lie to condition your mind into accepting evil into your reality. evil into your mind to dominate you, to control you, to make it okay to do evil things and manipulate your way out of it. Can't you not see that? Why can't you not see that? Huh? Huh? Why can't you not see that? It is right there. It is right there. It is why we are suffering. It is why the world is in constant chaos. I can't have that. I can't have that. I am done listening to these voices that speak but say absolutely nothing because they are afraid to confront the demons that are hiding in plain sight, wearing suits and smiling. And we are making these demons rich. You are making these demons rich while you stay poor. And they just keep taking and taking and taking from you. They become millionaires. They become billionaires. And they just keep taking from you. They keep taking your energy. There is not a moment where they take a break and say that I will not claim any money from the masses. We can't keep championing losers. J. Cole is a plain loser. He lost the battle. He couldn't handle the pressure. He thought he had it in him. Alright? He thought he had that dog in him. He thought he had that fight in him. But Kendrick is on another level. Kendrick is an assassin. Kendrick is a sniper. Kendrick is a well-calculated strategist. That is a smart, intelligent mind who knows exactly when to attack, when to deliver, when to swing his sword, when to defend himself, when to put his shield up, when to kick, when to throw a jab, when to lead, when to yield and allow the enemy to come in and then pow, strike. That is not J. Cole. And J. Cole saw it. He finally saw it at the moment he delivered his track. He went back and listened to it. And then when his fans did not freaking hear what he thought they would hear, well, he folded. And he ran. And he apologized. And you applauded him for it. Because you all are a bunch of weaklings. You're weak-willed. You allow a loser to lead you. That's how pathetic the world we are living in has become. We allow weak-ass leaders, unintelligent leaders to talk tough, to hide behind their suits and their words, to create damage and chaos when all we want is peace and love. But they will not give that to us. They won't. Because that's not their way. That's not the way of the demon. The demon is created to cause chaos. That's the way of the demon. You can see their actions through human actions, through the pedophiles, through the liars, through the politicians, through the scientists, through religions. A lot of terrible things have happened in this world by these so-called politicians, musicians, freaking leaders, artists. Look back in the Renaissance days. Huh? So many art has been created to lie to people through art. So many lies. There are so many lies. There are layers of lies. And J. Cole is a master manipulator. Not just J. Cole. There's a lot of humans out there who are master manipulators, and we have to call them out. We can't keep championing liars to lead. We need the truth to shine so we can feel good, so we can liberate ourselves from evil, so we can exist peacefully. We can't exist peacefully if we keep voting for losers, for liars who love to spread chaos. We have to eliminate, we have to cut the head of the snake clean off his shoulder so no one follows his footsteps. So the next demon that comes out knows exactly where his fate lies. If he tries to do his evil ways, if he tries to perform his evil deeds, that's the message that needs to be sent to the master manipulators. I don't care how good J. Cole's lyricism is. A liar is a liar. I don't care how good your word play is. If you cannot stand on anything, you are not worth listening to. You are not worth listening to. If you are not standing on the truth, you are not worth listening to. If your heart is filled with lies, you are not worth listening to, and you should not open your mouth at all. Keep quiet. Shut the hell up. And if you can't keep your mouth shut, best believe there's a worthy warrior that will shut your mouth up. And guess what? I am one of those warriors. I am here to shut you up. I'm over listening to this nonsense constantly floating around the world and people making up excuses for people like J. Cole, for people like Drake, at some point for people like R. Kelly. Huh? We can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep finding ways to feel sorry for losers, to feel sorry for criminals, and excuse them and say, oh, maybe all they need is a hug. Or maybe all they need is a love for that psychopath to have a better life. They have a mind. They knew what they were doing. They know how to turn left and right. They know the difference. They know left ear from right ear. They knew what they were doing. They took those steps. They allowed themselves to be influenced, just like you've allowed yourself to be influenced by J. Cole and Drake and anybody else who's like their mirror image. You took those steps. You allowed yourself to be influenced. There's no excuses here. I'm coming for everybody. There's no excuses here. You either have the will to separate yourself from the filth, or you are weak-minded, you are weak-willed, and you get influenced by the filth, and you become the exact filth. You become part of the uniform. You are not an individual. You are a collective. You can't be an individual and be part of the collective. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's why they dress you up in uniform, trying to show you that you're part of the collective. You can't separate yourself from the collective. The moment you separate yourself from the collective, they will ridicule you. They'll cast stones. They'll start stoning you. How dare you separate yourself from the collective? How dare you not wear a uniform? That is the world that we're born in. Yes, you can separate yourself from the collective, but you have to have a strong will. In a world where eat or get eaten, that's how it is. You've seen nature, all right? Nature devours. Nature is cruel. Nature takes. Nature breaks. The lions eat. The hyenas eat. They eat other animals to survive. It's right there in front of you. Just like the rich people scam you every single day. They scam you. We're out here fighting for resources when resources are for free. It's part of the earth. There's plenty of resources everywhere. But here we are fighting each other because we have been conditioned to think that way. The majority of the world is influenced heavily in fighting for resources. Water is literally everywhere in the planet. We can all survive without having to pay for water. There's enough power to supply everybody healthily in the world. We can all grow organic foods. But no, we've allowed these corporations, these demons, to influence us heavily into eating chemicalized foods that cause more damage to us than any good, but they keep advertising it like it's healthy food. They keep advertising bad music, music about sex, music about drugs and guns, like it's good music. It is not good music. It's bad for your health. You need to have the will to resist. Stop championing losers. Anyways, that's enough for me for today.